Right, good afternoon everyone and welcome to this week's Link for Growth TV show. We have a show today which celebrates local food produce. It's very much a food theme for the week. Tanya's back from her travels and has lots of local news. Neal will be talking about how you can burn some of those calories off perhaps, having done all of these food indulgence with food. Catherine, as usual, has a whole load of charity news and local information. And we'll be having a food review at the end of the show, so it is food related. Chris is back on the road today. He's hobbling around, but he is sort of nearly fully mobile now, and he's visiting two local prize-winning food producers. This week's special guest is Jem Silverstone of Purple Marketing. He'll be launching L4G's online mentoring group, and he will be telling us how it will work. As usual, you can contact us all on Twitter at the hashtag you can see below my name. That's at L4GSWHearts, at L4GSWHearts. Tanya, welcome back. It's been a busy week in Watford. You're muted.
There we go. That's me unmuted. Oh no, I'm muted myself.
You muted your...
Am I there? Can you hear me?
There, yes.
Well, there you go. Yes, it's been busy. Now I have a voice. Yeah, it's been busy in Watford. Lots of stuff going on. One of the best things that I've got to tell you about is to do with all of our local parks. So that will be really, really good. Some great stuff going on with disabled people in the area. Fabulous stuff. Looking forward to telling you all about it.
Okay, great. That sounds really interesting. And Neal, the Cricket League season has just finished, so you'll be reporting on the highs and lows and the ups and downs of the season for some of the local teams. Plus, of course, football is back. And also you have a whole lot of news regarding Red Lion Pub as well.
Yep, so after the enforced international break, which most football fans don't like anymore, they'll probably be watching their own club. I'll be talking about Watford's next game and some very exciting news, as you said, about Red Lion.
Okay, that's great. And Catherine, you've got lots of local charity news and local event news coming up, plus a restaurant review.
Absolutely, yep. I shall be talking about the Michael Green Foundation, as ever. I shall be talking about Herts and Essex Air Ambulance. I shall be talking about Heritage Open Days in and around Watford. And yes, a very exciting, tasty review at the end of the show, so keep watching.
Okay, well that's good. And Chris, you're out and about this week in Croxley and Rickmansworth, visiting, as I said earlier, two prize-winning food producers.
Indeed I am. There is a lot of excitement in Watford. We've got two local businesses that have done incredibly well in competitions, and one of them is in a bakery competition, which is a national competition, and the other one is in a county competition with two firsts and a third there, so I'll be telling you all about that.
Okay, that sounds absolutely great. And next Thursday, it's the launch of Link for Growth's online mentoring groups. So this week's special guest is Jem Silverstone, owner of Purple Marketing, a long-standing and well-established Hertfordshire-based communications and marketing consultancy, who works mostly with small and medium businesses who are looking for communications and marketing advice. Welcome to the show, Jem.
Thank you very much indeed. Looking forward to being a part of it.
Okay, and you're going to tell us about OMGs in a bit more detail nearer the time, aren't you?
Yeah, it's really exciting times. Looking forward to kicking that off next Thursday.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Jem. Okay, last week's been seen quite a few events for Link for Growth, including Link for Coffee in the Market last Saturday, where you found out some news about the Christmas market, Chris.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on in the town. I managed to grab hold of the market manager, who was fuming, to be honest. He'd just caught sight the day before of a notice that had gone up, which was talking about the Christmas market. Nothing wrong with the Christmas market, love the idea myself, but the position of it is going to be where the existing market traders trade in the streets. So a little bit of a kick in the teeth, really. We'll take your money all year, and then when it gets busy and Christmas is around, you can't trade. Didn't sound fair to me. So anyway, I think it's gone back in for review at council level. I think Dorothy's got involved, and Manny, the council sort of MD's got involved. And I think they're going to try and persuade them that they should have it the other side of the overpass, which will actually draw people through the market as opposed to stop them bothering visiting it at all.
Yeah, it's double whammy that, isn't it, with the market? And then on Sunday we had the first official Link for Growth Sunday lunch, but 9 people turned up, including an old friend of Chris who wants to set up a Link for Growth district in South West England. Chris.
Well, that's not entirely true. The people that turned up is true. The person who came up from Bournemouth is actually a very old friend. Last time I saw her, I think I was 21. But lovely family. It was they were a great influence over me in my early life. So it was fantastic to discover Amanda again on Facebook, which is a great thing about things like Facebook. But it was a sort of double-edged reunion because unfortunately her mother, who was my friend, had passed away in 2010. So it was a bittersweet situation. But lovely to catch up, and she's very interested in Link for Growth, but we'll have to see where that goes.
Okay, that is great. Okay, and then on Monday we had Link for Growth coffee at Croxley Green at the kitchen, and on Wednesday we had we had a drinks evening at Fox and Hounds in Rickmansworth, where we discovered more about the landlord's plans to turn the pub into more of a community venue. We'll be interviewing him next week to find out more about it. Then yesterday there was Link for Coffee in Watford, hosted by Catherine at the Mercury on the A41. And the good news is that one of those venues mentioned, the kitchen in Croxley, was a finalist or winner in the British Baking Industry Awards on Wednesday night. Chris, tell us more.
Okay, well, I'm going to go in now. The thing is here is that Linda, who is the lady who has actually won the award, is not here today. She's at a family wedding. So I'm going to go in and talk to her young lad, David. This is a real opportunity for him to shine, isn't it? And tell us a little bit about what happened. So here we go. I'm going in. So here it is. So I'm in here in the kitchen now, and I'm with David. Hi, David.
Hi, you right?
Yeah, not too bad. Now you're actually.
David's head.
No, I've got it now. Don't worry. So, David, you're Linda's son.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this award. How did it get off the ground? I mean, how did you find out about it? How did you enter?
Well, it's a really big award. It's nationwide, and they get hundreds of entries. And what you do, because it's hard for them to find all the bakeries and get nominations, you actually have to send off an application. So Mum, Linda, she wrote an essay about why we should win the award, as did a lot of other people, and she was chosen as one of the 3 finalists to go to the black tie event, and and thankfully they won. So yeah.
So who judges this? What's the criteria?
Well, it's not a public thing. It's a panel of experts, and they narrow it down to the 3, and then before the night they choose who they think deserves it most out of the finalists.
And what was the award actually? What was it?
This was the Customer Focus Award, so it was it's to do with how you respond to your customers' demands, how you meet it, how you ensure that you have loyal customers who keep coming back. I think it's the perfect award for what she's been doing, because every request that we've had, she's met. There's been earlier opening times for the commuters, there's been special classes put on, we've had book clubs in, we've had the cakes that we offer as well. There's gluten-free, dairy-free. People, even this morning, someone asked for a dairy-free afternoon tea, which isn't an easy feat, but we got it done. And it's just putting an extra mile, I guess. And
I know she gets up incredibly early in the morning, and she's here till late. And I don't know, how many cakes a week does she bake for people's birthdays and things?
Well, it does vary quite a bit, but every day there's 3, 4 on the go, and constantly people coming in to collect them. She does a lot of it herself, but she does get help from the other staff working here as well. So they're always working on something or other, and yeah, it's just incredible. Yeah.
We were in here the other night, and she had the other evening we had a link for coffee here, and she had people in from, I think they were doing some kind of Duke of Edinburgh Awards or something. So she really is embedded in the community.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean stuff like that. There's no obligation to do it, but it helps out people. I mean, if you want to do your Duke of Edinburgh, you want to do something you enjoy. And there's a couple of girls, who come down every other week. They spend a couple of hours. They make a cake. They usually make 2, 1 for the shop, 1 to take home themselves, and they enjoy it. And obviously it's developing skills, and it's just one of the things that she puts her time in to help them out, and it's really nice.
I love the lemon drizzle cake. In fact, she didn't have any on Monday, so she came in and baked some specifically for me. But where is this trophy? Where is this
trophy? I'll show you.
Okay.
So we can't touch it because Josh there you
go.
Josh has polished it.
So there it is, and it's here with the balloons and obviously the finalist award thing there. So
the Star Baker that came from Sandra, I think, one of our other bakers here.
Right.
Yeah, she got that from Monday.
I mean, this is quite a big deal. This is a national. This is like, as Linda was saying, it's like almost like the Oscars of the baking world.
It is, because obviously baking's quite a big deal now. It's sort of fizzled out a bit, didn't it? But now, with the Bake Off and everything, people are getting into it. A lot more bakeries are popping up. And this is the whole of Great Britain, and it's the British Baking Industry Awards. So to think only 3 people got shortlisted to this award in the whole of Great Britain, and to think that only 1 person gets to win it, I think she's done really well. Well, not just her, like all the other people that work here. My dad as well. Every time she says, "Oh yeah, we'll make that cake," he's got to deal with all the the admin behind it and changing the till and.
Well, I mean, I speak for myself. I speak for everybody at Links Back, everybody in the show and everything. It's just amazing that she's pulled this off. She's only been open since when?
January. So
January this year.
About 9 months.
How amazing is that? So
it's incredible. Yeah.
Fabulous. So thanks for and well done to you for coming on the show and doing that. That's the first for you. So
have to fill in. Yeah.
So brilliant stuff. Thanks very much.
No, thank you.
Take care.
Excellent. Yeah. And
cheers. Thank you. See ya. So there you go, Diane. It's a great achievement by this little bakery here. It's you can see it behind me. The kitchen there. Fabulous award. Very well done to them, and just in 6-7 months they've done that, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great achievement, isn't it, to get nothing to a national award in that short space of time.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So anyway, that's the kitchen in Croxley.
Okay, and you're off to meet our other prize winner a bit later on in the show, aren't you?
I am indeed. I'm off to Rickmansworth now. I'm going to do some trampling round an allotment.
Oh, well, take your wellies.
I'm in shoes as well. I'm not really dressed for it. I hope the ankle holds up, and I'll catch you all a bit later on. Enjoy another half hour of the show or so. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay, take care.
Take care. Bye now.
Bye. Okay, and as I mentioned at the start of the show, Jem Silverstone of Purple Marketing is our special guest this week, and he's here to talk about the new Link for Growth initiative called Online Mentoring, which starts next Thursday on the 17th, isn't it? So we thought we'd take the opportunity of speaking to Jem in the same way we were talking to Asif Raymond about the launch of Link for Growth, and how last week we talked to Laurie Bernard, telling us about some of the places that local businesses can go for help, and some of the help that's available. So, welcome to the show, Jem. Perhaps you could start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, I run a company called Purple Marketing, and pretty much for the last 35 years or so, I've been involved in marketing in one form or another. I've been on the client side of marketing, so I've worked as a marketing manager for companies like Cunard and Eveready and Ladbrokes, and then ran advertising and design agencies for 20 years. And the last 7 years or so, I've been running my own little outfit. So we specialise in helping businesses, particularly small, medium-sized local businesses, to communicate with their audiences to do more meaningful, cost-effective marketing.
Okay, that's great. So there's bags of experience there then.
Yes, the experience that comes of 35 hard, slogging years of trying to do it, to help other people. Yeah, we've kind of seen it, done it, even designed the t-shirts.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you designed it as well. I mean, you know, we want you there again, falling down on the job, would we? Okay, so perhaps you could tell us a little bit about what an online mentoring group is and how it's going to work.
Well, we're not entirely sure how it's going to work, but we think we've got a fair idea, and it's really based on real-life mentoring groups. And Link for Growth was really started on the basis of helping businesses to help each other. And this is really taking it to a whole new level because it's introducing the online element to it. So we're in a situation where we have a community of people, a number of those own and run businesses, and we want to offer them an opportunity to work together. I think it's fair to say that no matter how experienced you are, even if you've been doing it for 35 years, nobody knows it all, and we can all benefit from the wisdom and experience of other people. So the online mentoring group is a way of bringing those people together, a group of people together, so that we can all benefit from each other's experience.
Okay, so you briefly explained how it came about, but what made it necessary to start the group now? I mean, is there any reason why it started now, or is it just something that you just felt would be a good idea?
Well, I think it's driven by the demand of those people who would like to get help, would like to be assisted in their business, don't necessarily have the opportunity to get out and have face-to-face networking or mentoring groups. So it's a great opportunity to reach people really all around the country, all around the UK, and offer them the opportunity to improve their understanding of how business works and have them have a team of people who can provide them with help and support. And support is really the key word there.
Okay, that sounds great. So what type of issues do you expect to deal with?
Well, there will be a range of issues. We would expect most of them to be business issues. So I would guess that a lot of them are going to be issues like how can we promote the business more effectively, how can we gain more sales, how can we improve our reputation, how can we deal with staff issues. But there may be issues that come up that are health issues, there may be personal issues, there may be environmental issues. We really don't know, and that's almost the beauty of it, is that anything can come to this table because we have such a diversity of experience and knowledge within the community that by pulling that knowledge and experience together we can solve just about any problem. And of course, none of us acts in isolation. We all have businesses, but we are part of the community, individually and collectively. And if there are things going on in our lives which affect the other side of us, our personal lives, our business lives, where we're located and so on, that all has an impact on our ability to be able to do the job to the best of our ability.
That sounds great. So are you expecting a lot of sort of like sole trader type organisations to come in, or are you expecting larger organisations and that to join the groups?
I think a lot of the businesses will probably be quite small businesses, and we welcome those. I think within a larger organisation you often have a network internally of different skills and abilities, so you tend to use those as first port of call. Whereas sole traders, small business, micro business owners tend to work in isolation much of the time. A lot of us go to various networking groups, and that provides a kind of community for us. But we don't often have an opportunity to really bounce ideas around and get feedback on thoughts and ideas and have a team of people focusing on a particular issue we might have.
Okay. So perhaps you could give us a little bit of detail about how this actual group is going to work, like how many people are going to be in each mentoring group, when they're going to be, what the kind of breadth of skills you're expecting to see, that sort of thing.
Yeah, this is where it really gets exciting, because we have We're going to have 8 people within each group, and we're going to have one meeting every month. Each group will be facilitated, so there'll be 9 people in total, and the group will spend around about 3 hours in total addressing the issues of 4 different people each month. So it will go on a rotational basis. One month, 4 people will put forward an issue, and we'll deal with each issue for about 40 minutes. And then the next month, the other 4 people in the group will raise their issue. So we hope that across a period of at least 6 months, and we do ask that people subscribe for a minimum of 6 months so that we can start to grow and trust each other collectively. But everybody will have an opportunity to put forward at least 3 issues of their own. But of course, we expect each of those issues to impact on everybody. They'll all take something from each of them.
Yeah. So in effect, what you're trying to do by having a 6-month commitment is to build a relationship, isn't it? So that everyone does build that trust, as you say.
It is, and I'd be very surprised if everybody was going to be completely open about themselves and what their issues are right from the word go. But I think over a period of time, we learn to understand and trust the people around us, and we recognise that they're there to help us. So I would hope that over a period of time, we can start to explore deeper, more meaningful issues as time goes on.
Okay, that's great. So, so each group is meeting once a month, but are you planning to run multiple groups each month?
Sorry, say the question again?
Sure. Each group meets once a month,
yes.
But are you planning to run multiple groups each month?
Yeah, we can have as many groups as we have a demand for. So at the moment, we're kicking it off with a pilot session on Thursday of next week. We're really looking for people who are going to be interested in being the facilitators for this group initially. So if anybody out there is interested in taking part in running a group, and there is a financial incentive for that, it can generate some income from those people who are involved in that. We'd love to hear from you. Equally, if you want to be part of a group and you have some issues that you want to bring to the table, please do get in touch with us.
Okay, that's great. So, if you're interested, how can you get in touch with you?
Well, you can get in touch primarily through Link for Growth. Speak to Chris Ogre or to myself via Link for Growth. I'm sure anybody on the Link for Growth, Link for Business senior teams will be very happy to direct anybody through to us. Get in touch with me. You can certainly contact me through my email address, through my phone. So we'll provide details for those. Those will be up on the Link for Growth website.
Okay, that's great. And what do you expect from each participant? I mean, is it just a case of they just turn up for each session and then just sit there and talk about it, or are you expecting to do some work in between time?
I think probably the most important thing is that they come to the session with an open mind and a desire to contribute in a positive way to other people's issues. And I think that, as with all networking, we find that the people who contribute most are the people who gain the most from it. And so we would expect people to get a huge amount from it over that period of time. There is a small financial commitment, but really in terms of the value they can get from this group, I think it's a small price to pay. So for each session, we're suggesting that the fee is going to be £36 for a registered Link for Growth subscriber and £50 for a non-subscriber. So relative to an hour of a coach's time, for example, or a couple of hours of a coach's time, that probably equates. And for this, we're giving 6 3-hour sessions over a 6-month period. So I'm expecting there to be a lot of demand from a lot of different groups of people.
Yeah, I think that's really good value for money, because business coaching is very expensive, isn't it?
It can be, and of course business coaching is something that it can also be fantastic value. It's very difficult to put a real value on a process that actually can make you so much more aware of yourself and can make you fulfill your own potential. So I'm a big fan of business coaching, and I think it provides fantastic value. I have a business coach that I use from time to time, and I think most of the senior business people who are most successful in this country have business coaches. So this is something that provides some coaching elements. It also provides some mentoring elements, and so I think it's going to be the best of both worlds for some people. But coaching is it's a fantastic thing, and I would encourage everybody to get a coach and a mentor.
Okay, that sounds great. Now, if you would just explain the benefits to someone as to why they should join this online mentoring group, apart from the cost advantages, what would you say the greatest benefits are going to be of partaking?
Well, I think the obvious benefit is that you have the collective wisdom of a group of people who may have encountered whatever issue or problem you have previously, may have found a solution, may have tried and failed and learned the hard way how to get around these problems, and can give you the benefit of their experience. And I think that having that small but diverse group means that it's a very safe, trusted environment. We can share that knowledge, knowing that it's going to be used in a wise, trustworthy way. Nobody's going to use the privilege of knowing what your is. Nobody's going to break any confidences in that. So you're not exposing yourself in any adverse way, but you are gaining, if you like, almost like a boardroom full of people who are there specifically with the aim of helping you.
Yeah, so it sounds a fantastic idea. It should be lots of benefits for lots of, let's just say, sole traders or people from smaller organisations who perhaps need that outside influence to bounce some ideas around and for it to take off.
And it is very structured as well. There is a very set format to it, although it's not formulaic in the sense of the content. The structure is very well defined, and there is accountability that comes out of it. And I think that accountability is really important, because when anybody agrees that a certain set of actions will be taken, we follow that up and make sure that happens in order to maximise the chances of success. And I think there's just going to be a great energy on these sessions that's really going to inspire a lot of people.
That's fantastic. And just a quick reminder, you've already told us, but if you are interested, how do you register your interest?
It's all happening next Thursday. That's the 17th of September. If anybody wants to get in contact, they can get in contact with me by email. My email address is gem, that's Jem, at purple-marketing.net, or they can call me. My mobile number is 07710 723 532, but those details will go onto the website, so those will be available for anybody who wants to find them. But do come on. I've got a feeling that we may already be fully subscribed for the pilot on Thursday, but actually we hope that's going to be the first of many groups that's going to be rolled out across the country. So please, if you're interested on either side, either as a facilitator or as a member of the group, please do get in touch and let us know. And we can start getting that together for you.
Okay, that sounds absolutely great, and thank you very much, Jem, for coming on and talking today about online mentoring groups, and we wish you lots of success with it.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay. Right, Tanya, talking of business, Watford Council have announced plans for a business improvement district.
They have indeed. They have indeed. The Business Improvement District, it's a thing that's been started a number of places over the last couple of years. 200 other towns apparently have a Business Improvement District. And Neal and Chris and I were amongst the people at the first meeting that proposed this idea in Watford months ago now, back when it was really cold, back in the winter. And it's now come to the stage where all of the deliberations and considerations have been undertaken, and they're actually proposing now to an idea for the local businesses in the centre of Watford to unlock £3 million worth of investment. They say it's going to unlock for us, and it's going to do that by charging a levy on businesses, and it's a really good way that they're charging this levy, proportionate to the size of the business. So your John Lewis's in the town centre are going to be paying proportionately more than where I am now in B Spa, which is just a tiny business. So all based on, I think it was the rate that you pay or something like that to make the proportions up. But 200 other towns are there before us, and Watford's now there proposing its own business improvement district to start from April 2016. As I say, unlocking £3 million worth of investment over 5 years. And we get to hear the final proposal, or the latest proposal, what they plan to do with that £3 million over 5 years at Woo Woo's. The Oceana Bar is the launch this week, Wednesday the 16th, between 6 and 8. They're proposing to send us or give us the proposal for how we're going to spend this money. Other information can be got from Watford Town Centre Manager or the website watfordbid.co.uk. So yeah, some great stuff there happening in Watford.
Okay, so hopefully you can get back to us about Wednesday's meeting next week.
A Wednesday's meeting?
Hopefully.
I can definitely look it up for you, Diane.
Okay, fine. I'll
do that.
Okay, and then Watford Taxis say they're looking to improve the service they offer to disabled passengers.
Well, they are. Yeah, this was really a very nice report from the council here again. The council have been looking at their services for disabled people recently, and or the services in the area for disabled people. And apparently some time ago they commissioned a report to figure out whether the taxis in the area are providing a brilliant service, or a service as good as we'd like for disabled people in the area. And this week there must be a council meeting because they're considering this report that's been written. And they're proposing a working party, apparently, in this report. I've not seen the report, but according to the council's information, they're proposing a working party to involve the licensees, so all of the taxis, licensed taxis in the area, and Watford, Disability Watford. So the disability group, it's always so important to actually get the users involved in these changes. So the users are involved via Disability Watford, apparently this week. And there's two things that they're proposing, is a user group and giving advice from Disability Watford in some ways. I didn't write that down, but there you go. There's some communication going on to check that we're doing well enough for the local disabled people, and if not, to fix it, which is always good.
Okay, that sounds great. I think you need to just turn down the speaker volume a fraction because I'm getting feedback from you.
You want me to do what, sorry, Diane?
Turn down your the speaker volume.
Let me try that. How's that? There we go.
Okay, well that sounds better because I'm not. It's less echoey. Anyway, okay. Canterbury Park need our votes, or need your votes, to become the nation's favourite park.
Well, yes, whichever your favourite park is. There are, of course, 6 parks in the Three Rivers area, and there's also the Hertsmere parks too. All of the local parks that have got green flags get the opportunity to get your bid. My favourite is, I have to say, Canterbury Park, because that's where I run on a Saturday morning with the Watford Running Sisters. But there are others. So within the Watford area, there's Canterbury Park, there's Cheslin House and Gardens, there's Woodside Playing Fields, Oxley Park, Callowland Rec, St Mary's, Churchyard. All of these are open for your votes in the Three Rivers areas. And your votes have got to be in by noon on the 30th of September. But also, you can vote for parks in the Hertsmere area too. So again, all of those green flag parks, all those brilliant open spaces that we've got in this area, you can vote for your favourite, and let's try and get one of them at least into the top 3. Wouldn't that be good?
It'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? It really would be a fantastic result.
It would. Can I give you the website for that?
Yes, please do.
So it's greenflagaward.org. Green Flag Award. No dots, no spaces, no nothing. Just greenflagaward.org. And you can go on there and vote for your favourite park. Please do. Let's get in there.
Okay, and talking of votes, Herts County Council are looking for young people to represent their area in the National Youth Parliament.
Yeah, isn't this a brilliant thing that we've had recently? This growth of youth parliaments. You know, we have a vote. We've got people that have really fought hard to make sure that everyone in this country over the age of 18 gets a vote. And getting people involved in using their vote wisely is a really, really valuable thing to do. And there's now this youth parliament, a nationwide thing that helps people across the country to get involved, to figure out what they feel about issues before they get to the age where they get the opportunity to vote. So the youth parliament's open to anyone who's aged 17 on, I think it was the 27th of February next year. The details are on the website that they have at the council there. And if you're between 11 and 17 and in school in Hertfordshire, you can put yourself forward to be a member of the National Youth Parliament, so an MYP. Not an MEP, but an MYP. Sounds like a great thing to do. They're looking for energy, they're looking for passion, they're looking for people who want to change the world, who want to represent the young people that they live close to, and to put their voice forward to national opportunities. This is something that's working all over the world now. There's people in India who are creating massive changes in their slum areas because of youth parliaments being able to help the children or the young people to put their voice forward to national politicians. So it's a really valuable thing to do. Anyone between 11 and 17 and in school in Hertfordshire wants to go on and have a look at the Youth Connections website, or Youth Connections on Twitter and Facebook, and the Young People's Parliament.
Okay.
Get involved.
That sounds great. And earlier this year, Catherine and I talked a lot about the Audentia Awards, which is the Watford Civic Awards sort of thing, awarded by the elected mayor and part of the raising the profile of charity fundraisers. And although we don't know the name of the overall winner yet, we do know someone who's at least won one of the awards.
That's right, we do, Diane, absolutely. And it's a local lady, of course, otherwise she wouldn't be being featured on here today. A lady who is a former journalist, a former, I think she was an editor, yes, the arts editor at the Watford Observer formerly. She's now in her 70s, and she's got nominated for a Special Achievement Award by Watford Council, and it was for her raising the profile of arts in this area. Apparently, at the time when she was starting all of this, Watford was pretty grey, and she wanted to add a bit of colour to find out places and to put forward places where there were exciting things happening in the culture in this area. Too many shades of grey, she said, too much concrete, and to my mind, too many residents moaning about what had gone wrong instead of pulling together to find a better, colourful way forward. Well, she's definitely helped that. She's done a newsletter, she's highlighted all of the areas where music can happen, all of the areas where art can be shown, and an awful lot of help and support she's had over the past 15 years. And great improvements in all of our arts and social areas in the area. So yeah, good on her. Oh, I didn't tell you her name. Garelle White is her name.
Okay, well that sounds good. And very late last night, Watford Council said they've launched a bill to help some Syrian refugees.
That's right. Yeah, this is another nice nice story. So within the council offices, they've already got this assistance going on, and what they've now done is extend it so that any members of the public can assist the Syrian refugees, or actually it's the Watford and Three Rivers Refugee Partnership. I don't know if they only work in Syria, but it's now extended anyway, so that anyone in the area can take in donations. Now, on the website they're talking about donations of nappies and washing powder and other supplies. Presumably that's other dry supplies that are easily transportable to areas where refugees are, and where this is likely to be helpful for them. What they've done is they've got an area, the customer service area centre at Watford Council, where you can take your donations, and they will have them there for you and take them to the refugee centres.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely brilliant. I'm actually texting Neil because he's disappeared, which of course people who are watching the show can't see. But obviously I was trying to get hold of Neil because we're about to come on to his bit. But what we'll do instead is we'll talk to Catherine, who can tell us about some of the news, and we'll come back to the sports news afterwards.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I shall jump in there and fill in. Okay, so
We'll talk about the Red Lion when Neil is back with us.
Okay, I start with the Michael Green Foundation then.
Let's start with Michael Green, shall we?
Well, yes. Okay, in case you haven't got any tickets, there are still some available for our, I don't know if you can see that, Comedy and Magic Night, which is coming up on the 26th of September. I say there's a handful of tickets left. If you do want some, get in touch with me, or anybody through Link for Growth will know my details, and I will send you a ticket. I will be at the Yellow Comedy evening this evening at Reason Coffee Shop, so if anybody wants a ticket, come and find me there, and I will have some with me. The other big project that Michael Green Foundation has coming up is Eat Fit, which is a new course all about food and fitness, which is going to run in both Watford and St Albans Everyone Active leisure centres. The one in Watford is the central one by the town hall, and we had a lovely photo shoot with Dorothy Thornhill yesterday, which is going to feature an article all about Eat Fit, and our photographs, of course, in the Watford Observer in the coming week or so. So that will be great, and be able to find out more about it then. But all the details are on the Michael Green Foundation website. One other thing, just very briefly to mention, is we've got a young lad, Dean Jordan, who is running a marathon for us. He's running the Bristol and Bath Marathon. Again, the details are on the website. Only about a month and a half, I think, to go to sponsor him, but he's doing really well on about £300 at the moment, so any sponsors for him would be very welcome.
Okay, great. And Herts Ambulance are launching a new app on their website.
Absolutely, this is really quite exciting. Primarily it's been designed so that people who do out and about sports, whether it's cycling, running, rock climbing, whatever, if you've logged into the app to start with, it will actually pinpoint your location. So if you get into trouble at all, then the Herts Air Ambulance crew will actually be able to find you much more easily and rescue you. But it also has lots of other information all about all the services that they offer. What's interesting as well is that the app was actually designed by an A-level student from Bishop Stortford. So there's one young person putting his time to very good use. You can download the app. It's the EHAAT app. If you go onto your App Store, Android Store, just search for the Essex and Herts Air Ambulance Trust, and you should be able to find it and download it for free.
Okay, that sounds great. And talking of Herts Air Ambulance, they have a fundraising ride coming up in a week tomorrow, I believe it is, but you can still register.
You can, yes. This is, Woodhall Park opens up to the public for a sponsored horse ride, not bikes or anything else this time, but horses for a change. This is happening on Sunday, the 20th of September, which is also an important day because it's my birthday. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, this is the 6th, the Grand Tour sponsored ride organised by the Puckeridge Hunt, taking place, as I say, on the 20th of September in aid of Herts Air Ambulance. The cost is £12 for riders under 12, £25 for riders 12 years or over, and they do ask a minimum sponsorship of £5. You can contact them via www.grandtoursponsorride.com, but I'll put the link up after the show as well.
Okay, that's great. And colouring is a big craze at the moment. And New Hope, the Watford Homeless Charity, have got a competition, which is also a fundraising venture for them.
Yes, they are celebrating their 25th birthday, which is partly what it's in aid of. There are 3 age categories that you can enter. There's an early years foundation stage, key stage 1, key stage 2. So this is a kids colouring competition. I'm sure there will be an adults one at some point, because as adults we love colouring too. The top competition closes 5 o'clock on the Friday the 30th of October. You would need to go to the New Hope website to download the colouring sheet. I expect if you go in there, they've probably got some printed off as well, but it's certainly on their website. You can colour it in, and then you can hand it in either to one of their charity shops, or you can take it to your school harvest festival, where donations would be collected by the New Hope speaker or driver, or you can actually stick it in an envelope and post it to them. Again, I'll put the address up on the website, but it's to their office in Queen's Road in Watford.
Okay, that's great. And last week we talked about National Heritage Open Days and how it was kind of like a big secret, and we only discovered about it by chance. And it started yesterday, but there are still many local buildings open tomorrow and Sunday.
Absolutely, yes. I was going to mention the one that's actually started, or one that started today is going on tomorrow as well, which is Basing House. So if you do want to go and have a look at Basing House, then do go along tomorrow. Be open from 10 till 4, and it's in the High Street in Rickmansworth. Basing House is, it was built in 1740 on the site of the house once occupied by William Penn. Lots of things have happened to it over the years, but it remains in the council ownership, and Three Rivers Museum has occupied its current location in the building since 1992. I believe that one's free to attend, so do go along and have a look.
Okay, that's great. And you can also go along to, what, 5 places in Watford?
Oh gosh, yes. There's lots of other places that are open. If you're interested in bouncing bombs, you can go along to the British Building Research Establishment, which is in Bucknall's Lane, just beyond North Watford, and you can visit the first model dam used by Barnes Wallis in developing what became the Dam Busters bouncing bomb, which still sits in the centre of the BRE site in Watford. The once top secret structure, 1 metre high, 15 metres long, is now a scheduled historic monument. You can learn more about that. You do need to book to go and see that. It's open on Saturday. It's tomorrow, 10 till 2. The details again I'll post up so that you can book that if you wish. Okay.
Well, there's also Sugden House that is open, and Little Casbury Art Sale. And there's also a North Watford Industrial Heritage Walk, and the details for those are all on the website. And keeping in mind of the food, beverage theme for this week, you can also go to Pope's Yard, which is a brewery, isn't it?
It is a brewery, yes. It's Watford's only brewery at the moment, and given the heritage of Watford with a few breweries over the years, it's nice to have one current at the moment. Then actually you can go and have a look around, you can sample the beers, find out all about the history of it, and have a chat to Jeff and Barbara, who run the brewery there. It's down Whippendale Road, easy to find, 477 to 479 Whippendale Road. It'll be open on Saturday from 12 till 5 o'clock. No booking required, just turn up.
Okay, that's great. And Chris and Debbie, we're going to be telling us about an event in Croxley Green on Saturday, but there is on Sunday. There's a Watford and District Classic Vehicle Club holding an event.
Absolutely, yeah. Classics on the Green, which is an annual event. And in fact, I think they have Classics on the Green a couple of other times throughout the year as well. But I think this is quite a major one.
We interviewed Kevin France, didn't we, at the beginning of July, end of July, rather, beginning of August.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, this time they've also got. Oh gosh, I wrote it down here. Carter Steam Fair is also there as well. So it really will be a family fun day, particularly if you like cars. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Aston Martins, Jaguars, and many other popular cars. So go along between 10 and 4:30 on Croxley Green. That's on Sunday.
Okay, well, Neal still isn't available. In the hope that I don't have to do the sports news, we'll go to Chris, who's got Debbi King with him. Chris?
Hello indeed, yeah, I'm back, and I'm swathed in greenery. Look at this, look at that plot there, look at that, what an amazing thing that is. And that's Debbie's plot there. You can see the shed there, and we've been having a wander around. I've already acquired a corn on the cob, so I'm in luck for tonight. That's I'm grateful for that, and I'm looking forward to munching my way through that. Raw, of course, I'm not going to cook it. But here I am with Debbie, so say hello, Debbie.
How are you?
Good. Now, Debbie has been incredibly busy. Now, I've never been to Debbie's house, but she tells me that she needs a small army to move in to eat all the food that she's got. So she's a prolific producer of stuff, and I'm going to show you here. We're just about to nosh. I think we've got some great produce down here. I think that was now you made those, did you not, for a competition?
I did.
What was this competition then?
I went into the
I'm going to move around a little bit because you're in the sun.
Sorry.
That's it, yeah.
Right. The Bucks County Honey Show, which was attached to the Chalfont Home and Produce Show.
Now, for the people watching, you haven't been keeping bees that long, have you, really?
This is my third year.
Your third year, is it already? So, and it's not like you just put a tap on the hive and out comes honey, is it? This is not how it is. You get stung, you get all sorts of stuff, don't you?
I do get stung occasionally, but yes. Well, if you're going to actually invade their home, they're going to get a bit cross with you. But generally, bees are obviously quite quiet little creatures, and they're easy to keep. But if you go barging into their home, they do get a bit defensive. So
now I have your honey on. So you've got 20 hives, haven't you? 20 hives, and I love it because it's like I suffer from hay fever, and although it's not medically proven, actually, probably this year with your honey is the lowest influence it's had on me in terms of hay fever. I've pretty much been symptom free all year, and so I'm a big fan. But it's not just honey that bees make, is it? There's all sorts of stuff you get out of the hive.
Yes, well, the sort of primary products are the honey. Of course, that's what most people like. But obviously, there's the beeswax. But in fact, probably that was what they were kept for first. Really, was the wax for the candles for the churches, and because it's smokeless when it burns and clean, and propolis, which they collect from mostly off the leaf buds and the trees, which is like a resin, and some people use that because the bees themselves coat the inside of the larva cells with it, because they use this as antibacterial properties. As far as they're concerned, that's what they use as their medicine. And it's actually pretty good for us too. And they also collect the pollen off the plants, of course. Pollen, that's what their little balls you see on their legs. And they come in home and pack it into the cells, and they use that to feed the larva because it's very rich in protein. That's their protein food. And some of us quite like them sprinkled on the cereal in the mornings.
So what did you actually enter into the competition? Was it not just the honey, or did you enter derivatives of honey, or what is it you actually entered into the competition?
I did enter honey as well. There are all sorts of classes of honey. You can have a light coloured, a medium coloured, or a dark coloured honey. You can have a cream honey, a naturally set honey, a comb, a full frame of comb, or a cut piece in a smart box ready for sale. There's entries for different labels and how well you've presented it for sale. So there's all sorts of classes for those. And I also entered the honey cake competition, which is probably the most difficult recipe I've ever cooked, because honey in a cake, it tends to burn, so you have to be quite careful when you cook it. And which I managed to get my 3rd place in that one. And I did honey lemon curd, one of these.
Right, okay.
And I also entered a class which you had to put 3 items in, and you could theme it if you liked, and I did mine as a cosy night in. So I had 2 cushions that I'd made with bee themes on. In fact, Marianne Matthews helped me make those. She's quilted the bees pattern onto it, and so I put them up like a little sofa, and I called it my cosy night in. So I had the honey lemon curd. This particular one has got honey whiskey in it as well, so it's a honey whiskey lemon curd.
Definitely try that in a minute.
So that's hot toddy curd.
You're driving, Chris.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I don't have to eat the whole jar, do I?
You're driving.
Honey chocolates, which I was quite proud of. It's they're dried apricots soaked in honey and honey whiskey, and surrounded by a wrap of fresh cream, chocolate, honey, and what else? Yeah, that's that. And then the honeycomb on the top and bottom with the white chocolate dipped in it. Sandwich there.
Well, they look amazing.
So you might have to try one of those.
I might have to try one of those.
That was a big plateful when it went into the competition. There's not very many left.
Yeah. What's that red jar you've got?
This one?
Yeah.
This is an experiment. This is raspberry curd, raspberry honey curd. It's made with raspberries off the allotment, and I've put it through a sieve, so I've got all the seeds out. I find it nicer to eat like that. And what else it's got in it? It's got honey, obviously, raspberries, and honey for sugar, and eggs, butter. Similar to a lemon curd, it's just use raspberries instead of the lemons, really. Very tasty.
And that looks like a chutney down there, is that?
It is. I've got 2. This one's a runny bean relish, because I've got masses of runny beans and wonder what to do with them. And this one's an apple honey chutney.
Right.
Lots of honey, as you can tell.
Runner beans. I remember as a child we had lots of runner beans as well. The trouble is we had to eat them for dinner, and I just don't eat runner beans anymore because I just too many of them.
Too many. I suppose it depends. If you get them young, so they're nice and tender, they're quite good, and if you leave them till they get too big, they get a bit stringy, and they're perhaps not so much a favourite, especially with youngsters.
Right. So now that's the honey. You're into all sorts of natural stuff. I'm just going to look around on your allotment here. You're in. You mentioned it earlier, Diane. This is the Croxley competition or show or something tomorrow on the green. What's that all about?
The Three Rivers County Croxley Green Allotments Association run a home and produce show. So it's for, those guys who are able to grow those enormous onions and the huge marrows, the ones that I'm sure you've seen them. They tend to enter those, and those folk like me that just quite like them, just the normal size. I'm going to enter a few things as well, a few runner beans and some leeks and some probably some raspberries maybe. Anyway, and there's the produce side, the home cooking, all these kinds of things, and the cakes and bread and flans and cooking things that the ladies do, and guys I suppose, and handcrafts, cushions, quilting, stitching, embroidery, sketching, drawing, photographs.
What time does that all start, right?
Well, it's being mounted. If you're an exhibitor, you have to be there bright and early in the morning. But it's open to the public from 2:30 at St Oswald's Church in Melbourne Road, I believe it is. I've got the address just to check for you. I did bring it in case I forgot. St Oswald's Church Hall, Malvern Way, Croxley Green.
There you go. So if anybody wants to go along to that tomorrow, starts at 2:30, goes on. So our prize giving's at 4:45. So we'll expect to see Debbie in there again tomorrow. So Fabulous stuff. Well, it looks like dinner is served down here, guys. So I'm going to get stuck in. So anything else that you want me to talk about down here? We've got wormeries. We've got all sorts of stuff down here.
No, that's fine. It's really interesting to the allotment, and we just hope that the shoes aren't muddy.
No, it's very dry down here. Very pleasant, actually. Where's my seat, Debbie? We can get stuck into some.
Don't eat it all, Chris. We want some.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so my chair's coming out, and I'm going to say cheerio to you all now. So goodbye, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Okay, right then. Well, on that note, Neal has been texting me. He may or may not be joining us. Neal, are you around? No, I don't think he is. I think we've got a few problems there. But, Catherine, you can tell us about Red Lion Pub, since we're still talking about food and food venues this week. And there's been a couple of significant changes, and I gather you also managed to get inside the building.
Yes, Nick and I went for a bit of a tour on Monday, and we had a look inside, and very interesting it was too. It's basically in pretty good shape. Structurally, it's absolutely fine. Obviously, it needs a complete refurb. But basically, we were looking at a shell inside. So we had a good look around all the downstairs. We couldn't go upstairs because there's some floorboards missing, so it was deemed unsafe to show people around. But we did. We had a good look downstairs. There's the old commemorative mirror at the back of the bar, which has the Watford Football Club logo etched into it on 3 panels behind the bar, which may be a collector's item for someone who's interested in that sort of thing. I don't know. But yeah, we had a look outside as well, and the stables area and the area to the side, which is derelict at the moment, so it all needs clearing. But potentially, it's a great looking pub, historic building, with the potential to be a real community hub.
So, how much money is it going to take, and what's the other news? It's been deemed a building of local community assets or something like that, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. What we've had news of this week is, and I'm sure Neal will be able to elaborate on this in just a moment as well. But what we've had news of from the council is that they are happy to list it as an asset of community value. What that basically means is it has to stay as a pub for a time limit at least. But it gives us time to put together some sort of plan, to formulate a plan to purchase the pub as a community building. So the idea is that we're going to have a microbrewery on site and a real asset to the community in terms of not just running as a pub evenings, weekends, but also as a meeting place during the daytimes for all different areas of the community. Neal, have you got any more details on that?
Well, all I can really add, I went round and had a look at just after you actually, Catherine, and yeah, I don't think it's in too bad state of repair at all. I don't think it will take much to bring it back to a working pub at all. So the asset community value, that was the big thing, that was the hardest thing. Now the council have done that. The owner has an opportunity to appeal that, but the indications are that appeal won't be successful. Everyone's frozen, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Right, so the initial asking price from the owner, who's just a businessman, was 1.1 million. Now we know he didn't pay anywhere near that fact. So now we have the time to hit the land registry, so we actually get to find out how much he paid for it. Now we've also came off at the knees slightly because it has to stay a pub. So his options have just been taken away from him effectively. Now, being a businessman, hopefully what will happen is we'll see what he paid for it. We'll offer him some sort of offer that will be above that he'll be happy with. But it won't be anywhere near 1.1 million, I can say that much.
Okay, that's enough, I think, on the Red Lion Pub. And whilst we've got you on the line there, we'll talk about some of the local sport if we can.
Yeah, my internet's been playing up, so I'm actually streaming from my phone now, so let's hope this is good enough. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I'm sure.
What do you want to start? What do you want to start with?
Let's start with Radlett, shall we? And how they've booked, have had yet another successful season.
Yeah, so Radley, after being unbeaten last season, this season they had a hiccup along the way, but they won 8 games on the trot to finish top of their league, which gets them through to a playoff situation for the trophy. And they've got a semi-final coming up against Welwyn Garden City. Now, you may think that'll be a foregone conclusion because they've been really dominant, but Welwyn Garden City actually did beat them earlier in the season, so they will be very wary and hopefully be prepared for that game.
Okay, that's great. And Abbots Langley and Lowestoft Green had a really close match last weekend.
Yeah, I have got this. Yeah, so Scott Newman scored a century for Abbots Langley, a former Surrey player. And you would have thought that score, 261, would have been enough to win the game. But a classic finish, a one-run win by, what was it? Lowestoft Green.
Yeah.
And it was a leg bye on the very last ball of the game. So a lot of people have been saying it was the best game they've ever seen in Hemel Hempstead.
Well, that sounds really good, and that's good. Obviously, a good advertisement for local cricket if it's that close. But there's whilst Abbots Langley and Lowestoft Green were busy playing in a really tight game, there was some disappointment for Kings Langley, who, despite winning, didn't progress in their competition.
Yeah, they couldn't get enough points. In cricket, you get points for bowling and points for batting, depending on how well you do. And they fell just 2 points short, despite winning, because Dunstable won their game by 1 wicket. So a good season for Kings Langley, but just fell short of the last post.
Okay, that's great. And I suppose you're really gleeful, or really happy, I should say, that Premier League football returns this weekend. And but even though Watford didn't play last weekend, you still managed to see some of the Watford players, Neil.
Yeah, so after the drudgery of what is international football, back to the real stuff this weekend. And with Watford playing Swansea at home. Swansea started the season really well. They're an established Premiership team, but the way we played in the last games, we should be able to cope with them. We do need to address the goal issue. We haven't scored in the last 3 games. So let's hope Flores has been working with the players in the break, even though 11 of them were on international duty last week. He's acknowledged himself that we need to work on the last third now. He's happy with the way we're defending. So it's time to, over the next month, move on and start getting some points on the board.
Okay. And very briefly, you saw the Tales from the Vicarage, and can you give us a quick review?
Excellent night. I went to it last year. Any Watford fan, it's a highlight of the calendar. It was a sold-out event. Tickets go very quickly, so when they go for the next one, be aware they go very quickly. This year they had favourite from the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, John McLennan. Jay Demerit, the American who came up through the ranks and travelled over to Watford as a non-league player and ended up playing for USA in the World Cup against Germany. Tommy Mooney, a legend at the club, who one of fans' favourite basically. Alan Smart, who scored one of the goals against Bolton in a playoff final. Clifton Noel Williams, who unfortunately had his career cut short by arthritis, but was a very good young player. And incredibly, a special guest turned up that no one was expecting, Troy Deeney. So it was absolutely fantastic for him to turn up. He was asked some very awkward questions about the current season. And he was brilliant. He answered them all very candidly, but didn't shy away from any. And he got a rapturous applause, say, from the crowd.
Good. So it was a good evening. But the international break doesn't apply to the lower leagues, does it? So Kings Langley FC did play last week, and they gathered they had a good week.
Yep, Kings Langley, yes, they won last week against close rivals Bedford. And they go to 6 in the table. That's only 2 points off the top of the table. It's an incredibly tight team. 13 teams in the table, only 5 points from top to bottom. So all to play for in that league. Yeah,
it sounds like a really tight league, doesn't it? And tomorrow they're playing Chalfont St Peters in the Red Insure League Cup at Kings Langley, kick-off at 3 o'clock. We've talked a lot about the Red Lion pub and everything, so I think really it's time for Catherine's restaurant review.
Okay, I've got to go. Bye.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Diane. Yes, I was actually just busy drooling over the menu of what we had last week. This is the Smoky Boys, new place down in St Albans Road. They do takeaway, they do delivery, and they also have an eat-in restaurant as well. We tasted their jerk and peri-peri chicken, and it was absolutely divine. I have to be honest, there's not a great deal on the menu for vegetarians. It's predominantly a burger place. You will find some grilled salmon and halloumi in a salad, which are very tasty. But predominantly it's burgers, steaks, barbecue. Smoky Beast Feast is one of their specialities. They are bringing the London burger scene to Watford with their gourmet burgers. But they do have some healthy shakes and fruit juices as well. So St Albans Road, Smoky Boys, go along and try them.
Okay, that sounds great. And very briefly, coming up this week, we've got a yellow comedy tonight at Reason Cafe. Doors open at 7:30. Show starts at 8 o'clock. Arthur Turner is headlining, and I'm sure those of us who went to the first yellow comedy will not forget that act. But however long we live, it should be an absolute...
Do we know if Alex is coming?
Yes, he is.
Oh, good.
Yes.
You're right, Diane. No one will forget that act. I'm looking forward to seeing him again tonight.
Yeah, well, I've got the photos as I keep threatening Alex, and hopefully it will be as funny as the show they did on Sunday at the Pump House, where Steve Owen Williams headlined. Is usual yellow comedy, high standards. I mean, I think we're very lucky to have them associated with Link for Growth. Then on top of that, if you're interested in something a bit more artistic, shall we say, cultured perhaps, tomorrow between 10 and 4 there's Botanical Illustration Retreat Day, where you can go and draw some of the gardens and the grounds of the Victorian estate at Reveley Lodge with the help of the art tutor Victoria Colf. You need to register beforehand that you want to go, and their number is 075 4095 9934, and the costs are £50 per person. But you need to book in advance before you can't just turn up. And on Tuesday night, Watford Transition Town is meeting at Reason Cafe at 6 o'clock. Then Link for Drinks, Link for Growth events this week include Link for Coffee in the New Market tomorrow, where Chris and Alex will be there if they survive this evening. And they will be answering any questions you have about Link for Growth. On Monday, we've got Link for Coffee, again in Reason, between 10 and 11 o'clock. On Tuesday, we have the coffee event at the Kitchen, which is a place that Chris just highlighted earlier. And finally, on Thursday evening, we have a Link for Drinks and Wetherspoons in Watford High Street starting at 6 o'clock. So the event is usually well attended. We often get about 30 people attending over the course of the evening, so it's a great opportunity to build some community networks. And on that packed note, we've run over time and everything. I think it's time to say cheerio. I'd like to say thank you to Jen for joining us today, explaining what online mentoring groups were.
You're very welcome.
And thank you for Neil, who has persisted, made about 12 attempts to join us, because I can see a log here of how many times he's tried to join us. And eventually we managed to get him. So thank you very much, Neil, for your persistence. You saved everyone from a terrible fate, me trying to do the cricket. And thank you to Tanya, Catherine and Chris.
The pleasure. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
See many of you later tonight at Reason for the Yellow Comedy.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
We'll be there.